for the process. There's like a cop car that just stopped by and is stopping me from vlogging. Hello brothers and sisters, Kameron here, it's good to see you. I'm really excited to talk about today because this is the long-awaited Lloyd Evans / John Cedars book tour, meetup, Q&A, and book signing, all in San Francisco. If you're not familiar with Lloyd Evans, his handle, which is John Cedars, you should definitely go check him out. It's John Cedars' YouTube channel. He's also responsible for JW's survey. It was one of the first handful of YouTubers that I was exposed to once I allowed myself the mental capacity to go, okay, apostate material is okay to look at. It's okay to look at people who have questions and see through their viewpoints and listen to them and their thoughts. And his was a very calm and kind of, it felt compassionate through his videos, which for me, at least, in my personality type, I really connected with. The main reason why I went was because I wanted to meet others that are like me. It was exciting to meet you. And we didn't show everyone's faces because a lot of people are incognito and covert. And if their faces are shown, as you know, as an ex-JW or a similar cult, if you show your face, you are in danger of losing your friends and family, losing your status, potentially losing your job, potentially losing everything because of the unfair rules that this company has, this policy has from the governing body and the Jehovah's Witness cult. And for now, I hope you guys really enjoy the San Francisco meetup.
So the ideal accomplishment is just to help people, and the people who really need to be helped are obviously JWs. But I had to write the book for a broader audience than just JWs or just ex-JWs. So I wrote it for non-JWs, but it was kind of a challenge because I also had to acknowledge.
Lloyd, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for coming to San Francisco.
It's my pleasure.
I know that you've had a quite the traveling schedule going.
Yes.
For how many meetups have you done already and book signings?
We did New York, Baltimore, LA last night, and today San Francisco. And
for your documentary last night.
Yeah, we did the screening for the sizzle reel, so that went down well.
Yeah.
And some Q&A with the producers and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the trailer after this.
Yes,
very
I'll
exciting.
show you.
Yeah.
I'll give you the viewing.
The sneak peek, the personalized sneak peek.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the family? How are you doing? Are you exhausted?
Pretty exhausted, yeah. But I mean, Deanna's very, very supportive of what I do, and even Jessica, she was more or less born on the road, so she's been coming with me to this sort of thing since she was a baby, so she's kind of used to it now.
Yeah.
So she's a real trooper.
She seemed to adjust right away. She saw those toys and migrated right to them.
Yeah. We're traveling now. That's fine. Yeah.
Is this actually your first time in San Francisco? Just curious.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm quite bitter about it as well because, like now, we're sitting on one of those iconic streets with the tram lines and I'm thinking, why don't I have more time to enjoy this? I love the scenery, you know.
Yeah.
We're going to try and grab a little bit of it tomorrow before we leave, but it's so nice being here.
Yeah. We could definitely point out a couple of spots you might have time to see, if possible. There's
Please
some
do.
beautiful spots here.
Please do. We'll try and get to Fisherman's Wharf in the morning.
Yes. Yeah, you got to hit up Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah.
There's a few places down there. So, number one, you're here for the book. Congratulations on the book. Actually, just got my first copy today. Excited to tear into it. I wanted to wait and get mine from you. So, thank you for that.
Thank you for buying it.
Yeah. Whatever I can do to help support, fellow YouTubers and activists.
And at $500, it's a bargain. I'm sure you.
$500 a pop. That's a good price. How was the Bethel trip? I remember I commented on your Facebook page, like, how did they even let you in? They didn't even recognize you, right?
Yeah, the Bethel trip was very interesting. I'm going to make a proper video on it. And
Okay.
I took loads of B-roll and filmed quite a lot actually while I was there. So I think it will be interesting. But no, it was very interesting. And as I said before, one of the most fascinating things for me was just how nice everyone was. And you're interacting with these Bethelites who are just wanting you to be happy, and you just feel sorry for them. You want to hug them because they just don't deserve to spend their lives in a cult. So when you come kind of eyeball to eyeball with these people, I think that's when you realise what this activism is all about.
You just want to reach out and save all of them.
You do really, yeah. They just don't deserve it.
Yeah, not at all.
But no, it went well, the trip. Yeah.
I'm excited to see the video. I want to quickly ask, what are your plans for the recent future as far as, you've got the book out. Is there a book in the future that may be unknown, or anything?
I've got ideas for the next book. I'm not writing it straight away. I kind of want to be, I'm doing a lot of research as well for it. I don't want it to just be about Jehovah's Witnesses. I want to kind of move on to creationism in general and that sort of thing. So I'm researching quite a lot about the Bible at the moment from different sources. And then once those ideas are crystallized, I'll have more of an idea of what the book's going to be about. But in terms of my immediate projects, I'm just trying to kind of throw myself into the YouTube channel because, you'll have seen for yourself what an impact it can have. Your own channel's grown very quickly, and the comments are showing that people really appreciate the content. So I think, especially with the younger generation, they need that engagement, don't they? And so in that tone, I'm really excited about the documentary we're working on, because it's kind of taking things to the next level, and it has the potential to reach so many more people than just the book by itself. So
right. Especially my younger generation being very visual and
the MTV
completely
generation.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's changing all the time. So it sounds super exciting. I'm really excited about the documentary and that book coming into the future. I myself have been very interested in Christianity as a whole and other cults, and it's happening not only just to Jehovah's Witnesses, but it's a worldwide epidemic.
It is. Yeah. It is. There's far too many lives are being kind of shaped and formed by things that just aren't true. And it's a tricky thing to kind of highlight it in a sensitive way, in a respectful way, but these conversations need to be had, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a global scale. People don't even know, for the most part, as you've seen and heard many times, that that's a cult, really? That's a thing.
I think with JWs, the work is still there. The work's still cut out for people to understand that there's more to it. The way I describe it is that ex-Jehovah's Witness activism is a niche of a niche of a niche. No one's interested in it. I mean, we had a good turnout today here. We had, maybe 30 people here.
30, 35, yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe even close to 40, yeah.
Which is nice, but, again, it's not what... We can't compare that with, like, for example, Scientology, which just has this massive focus on it, and yet it's for such a tiny membership. 25,000. So no, a lot of work needs to be done, I think, to raise the profile of JWs in terms of what they're actually doing and the harm they're causing.
Yeah, absolutely. Leah Remini's series is bringing a lot of light to that. I'd love to see that for JWs in the near future at some point. Maybe one of the celebrities will wake up one of these days too.
You never know.
So I had a couple of questions. I reached out to my subscribers. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to meet Cedars. This is pretty cool."
I saw the video.
You saw the video? Yeah. I was very brazen and bold about it, and I thought it would be a great opportunity, not only just because you were the second or third YouTuber that I saw that helped me wake up in my journey. So thank you. And I think I messaged you like right away after I uploaded my first video. I was like, "Dude, thank you for being super calm," because a lot of the other previous YouTubers that I'd seen were very angry and upset, and it brought up a lot of mixed feelings in me. And it took me years to come back to that point of being okay with, and someone had to show me like a Ray Franz video for me to wake up. It had to be a specific like slice out of the pie. So
good to see you. Thanks for coming.
We told your wife that we're coming to Croatia, and we're gonna probably show up on the doorstep and be like, "Brother."
You will be welcome.
Brother, worldwide apostatehood.
You will be very
Apostatehood.
welcome.
But thank you, yeah, for having the calm approach, because I think for me in particular and a lot of people, that's what I needed at that time, was to see that, you know, there were loving ex-JWs that weren't crazy, and as the organization makes them out to be, there's a life beyond that with happiness. Really opened my mind. I did get a couple of questions, and a few of my friends on Facebook I've noticed there's been a lot of backlash against, particularly you, the targeting. I think it's because you're definitely the biggest YouTuber for ex-JW activism right now, and there's a lot of, I feel, maybe unnecessary hate, but I thought it'd be an opportunity for you to kind of talk about that, your point of view, and give a rebuttal to, you know, the rest of the community.
I'll do what I can. I mean,
Yeah.
my response is I can only do my activism if I focus purely on Watchtower, and I feel as though when different ex-JWs leave, when different people leave JWs, they have a lot of anger, and they can channel that anger at Watchtower, as I try to do, or they can channel that anger at other ex-JWs who aren't doing or saying things that they quite agree with. And so it's perhaps understandable that I've said things that people disagree with, and unfortunately some of that goes into very personal attacks. But I can only do my work by blocking that out and just cracking on with what I'm doing, because I think Watchtower is more important than my opinions on Russia or whatever.
That was a big one, yeah, the Russian video.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
plea to other ex-JWs. You called out a couple of people.
Well, I didn't call them out, I showed some clips, but the thing to remember is that was like a 1-minute segment, and it was their words, not mine. And my feeling is that people can always form their own conclusions. There will always be YouTubers that people gravitate to more than others, but if you look at my channel, hopefully one thing that you can say about my videos is that I do focus on Watchtower, and I like to think I'm allowed 1 minute. Given what was at stake, this huge outrage in Putin's regime, where a group of cult victims were being turned on for what I believe are very cynical reasons to do with control and what have you. It was one of those. I actually talked to Deanna about it before making that video, and I showed it to 1 or 2 other people as well before I posted it, because I realised it would be contentious. But the feedback I got overwhelmingly was, no, this needs to go out. This needs to be said. And it wasn't easy to post it. I'm as much as you probably wouldn't think this. I hate confrontation. I really do. I can't stand people going at each other, but on that particular instance of cult victims being rounded on, I felt a stand needed to be taken. Yeah. And that's why I don't include it on my channel, because I think, what would other people like to see on my channel? They'd probably prefer me to talk about Watchtower than talk about other YouTubers, you know?
I asked my subscribers, like, can you guys help me with some questions to ask Lloyd, and the number one I wasn't even familiar with, and this is a tough one, wasn't even aware of it. Someone commented, ask Lloyd the real reason why he was removed or stepped down as an elder, and I didn't even know anything about that, so I wanted to give you a platform and the opportunity to explain whatever
the real
that means.
reason?
Yeah.
As opposed to what?
I don't even know what that was, like, the real reason. Where does this come from? Yeah.
Well, it's in my book. But if you want to know how it's described in my book, I stepped down as an elder because of stuff that was going on in my relationship with Deanna. We had problems with our marriage, and I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing as a husband. And at the time, I felt it was the business of other people, namely the elders. I felt it was their business because I was an indoctrinated Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
And you think back and you think, what was I doing? I mean, I wrote down this massive long letter going into huge detail as to everything that had happened, and posted it through my coordinator's door. And I look back now and I think, this is how I see it in my book, it would make just as much sense if I handed that letter to my local storekeeper, or to my local postman, or to the guy who drives the bus. It's the same difference, because there are people who have no right to that information. But when you're a JW, you're conditioned to think, oh, these are my spiritual leaders, and they need to fix me, and that kind of thing. So, no, I did that, and in the letter I said, and I'm standing down as an elder. And we decided that, I think it was a few weeks later, or within a few weeks, we moved to Croatia. And the idea was that I would reach out to become an elder again, and I was really encouraged to. The local congregation, there was no end of opportunities to, expand my ministry and get back on the platform. In fact, just before I stopped attending meetings, I was back on this is in Croatia, giving Croatian talks. I was doing just items on the Theocratic Ministry School, I think it was, but I was moving in that direction. But by then I'd already woken up. It took only 4 months.
Well, yeah. Okay.
But that's the reason, and it's in the book.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Let's get that out of the way. I myself, before I was in this fellowship, I felt very pressured to confess to a pioneer buddy of mine, and then he brought me to the next meeting with the elders, and humiliated by those several meetings before.
It is humiliating.
It's humiliating. It's none of their business to know, what you did with whom, and in my case, I was this fellowship because of a worldly girl.
Yeah.
And they wanted to know every detail, and it was just absolutely humiliating.
But isn't it interesting that?
But I felt like I owed it to them.
That's kind of the direction that I feel evangelical Christianity moves in, this obsession with what people do with their genitalia.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's unhealthy.
It's very unhealthy.
Yeah. What I do with my genitalia is nobody's business but me. But when you're a JW, you're conditioned to think that it is other people's business.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
On the Russia thing, I haven't revisited that really, because I don't think I need to. I think I've said everything I need to say. I think the arguments I've made are reasonable. But the one thing I would say is the great thing about no longer being in a cult is that we get to disagree on things. We don't all have to have the same opinion on anything. And
we're not all yes men anymore. We can be okay to disagree.
I think the problem comes when someone expresses their opinion and they're perceived as having a bigger audience, or they're perceived as putting their opinion across forcefully, and then others can then take exception and think, well, he's persuading far too many people, I need to pull him down a peg or two. And I think that happens a lot with ex-JWs, but I can't apologise for having opinions, and I would only say that if people are criticising you for voicing an opinion, then you're on the right track, because you're not going to do anything meaningful in life if you don't piss off anyone. That's just the way it works. I mean, just by having this channel, you're irritating Jehovah's Witnesses, who find some of the things that you're saying upsetting.
Oh, absolutely.
But sometimes people need to be upset, provided you're not being disrespectful or spiteful or badgering people. But I think it's healthy to have opinions.
Yeah. Not just a yes man anymore, and then it's a sense of freedom. I know that I experience, like, oh my God, I can have my own opinion, and I can express it, and it's okay to disagree. Freedom's great.
Yeah. It's great to have that freedom.
Yeah. I was really excited to hear later on you talked about an audio book being released, possibly.
Yeah.
On the Reluctant Apostate.
Yes.
Yeah. Any maybe in the next year?
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen.
Definitely going to happen.
I want to get John Redwood involved as well. Some viewers will remember he voiced some of the scriptures in some of my previous videos. He's got a fantastic reader's voice.
He does, yeah.
So I want to get him involved. But yeah, it will be. It's in the works. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Is there anything that you want to say to your viewers, the subscribers that are watching while you're here in lovely San Francisco?
No, just that I've been very well taken care of. Cliff's here, off camera, and he's done a brilliant job of, there he is. He's done a brilliant job of arranging everything. We had a really good turnout, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I hope I can come again. I hope we can do this again. And it's nice to jump on your channel, and I appreciate what you're doing. I think it's important.
Thank you. I appreciate what you're doing too. It's definitely inspiring to, someone who's been awake for 9 months now. Yeah.
It's still only 9 months.
Yeah.
Good grief.
9, 10-ish.
You're a baby.
I am a baby. Yeah.
Wow.
So is Fifth.
Yeah.
What, 7 months?
Awake?
Yeah.
June of last year. So a year.
A year.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And you're really in at the deep end, aren't you? Straight away.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Skipped all the other levels.
I was terrified. It was years before I went to my first meetup, and you're already running YouTube channels and all sorts. So well done. Takes a lot of bravery.
It does, but it's so freeing once you do it. Once you allow yourself to mentally do that. And I thought it was very fitting that we did your meetup in front of a gay pride parade.
We did.
Flag
We
in
did.
San Francisco.
And actually, that's one thing that I'm trying to. It's not. I don't necessarily want to get on a soapbox about it in every video, but I can understand what it must mean if you are raised in a Jehovah's Witness environment as a gay person. I can imagine how that anxiety and those issues are compounded. And it's one thing where, when I was first starting my activism, this again ties into what we were saying about offending people. I have to admit that I wasn't really talking about those issues because I didn't want to offend too many people. But you get to a stage where you think, no, life's too short. Some people need to be offended on this, and homophobia is dangerous.
Yeah.
And people do have the right to love who they want, regardless of gender.
Right.
So I think it's important that those issues get addressed, because, quite frankly, not everyone's going to address them.
No.
And these are people who need to be represented. So I'm glad that the flag was there.
Yeah, it's perfect representation. Yeah. I will, I think, myself be doing an interview with a friend of mine that came out as gay, and I was able to get him out of the organization.
Fantastic.
He's like 16, 17. It's crazy.
Do it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I look forward to that video.
Me too. Lloyd, thank you for hanging out with us. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate you coming out here and giving us your time.
Fantastic. Cheers, mate.
See you, brothers and sisters.
Bye.
If you're in the Bay Area or Northern California area, shoot me a message. If you met me at the event, please shoot me a message, because I lost a bunch of the phone numbers on the way home. It was so windy. Just flew out of my car because we were trying to do some footage afterwards, and it didn't work out, and I lost some phone numbers. But if I met you, please contact me through email or on social media. I've got those links below, and then we can reconnect. Some of you are actually really close to my area, and I would love to have another meetup. So the next clips you're going to see, my hair is different because it was shot on a different day, but I'm wearing the same shirt. A few days before the event, I uploaded a video kind of talking about some of the controversy around John Cedars. A lot of people were bashing him, going on the Facebook groups and Reddit and what have you, and talking about how he just wants money and how he just wants this and that. And, he's deleting comments and not hearing other people's side of the story. It was kind of confusing for me as someone who was eventually found his channel and was inspired by how calm he was and just spoke to me. So I asked the question to my viewers in that video, which I'll put a link to the description of, what kind of questions should I ask this guy? And after the interview, now that you've seen it, I felt honestly, because there wasn't any proof provided to back up what they were saying, that it was a bit facetious. And I'm open to questioning things. I'm open to talking to different people. I'm not here to start shit, basically. I'm not here to start crap. But without proof of that stuff, then how am I supposed to back it up? So I'm gonna have to side with Cedars, Lloyd Evans, on this, because he's a cool dude. He knew how to handle things, and I wasn't there to embarrass him. I wasn't raising my hand and making a fool of the guy when he's doing his Q&A. I listened, and I hung out with people. And that's, at the end of the day, I think says a lot more about the guy. And his motivations are actually inspiring to me in many ways for doing his YouTube channel, writing a book and coming out and helping and having a bigger message to reach more people. At the end of the day, the enemy is, like he said, Watchtower. We can have our disagreements, we can have our different thoughts, but at the end of the day, the worst enemy is still Watchtower, and many, many other cults like Scientology. I wish I could have spent more time with him. He was wearing a Star Wars shirt. It's a funny side note, I know plenty of pioneers, Bethelites, and elders, husband and wives, that love Star Wars, when it clearly has magic in it. They're clearly doing magic tricks and I almost stepped in poop. They're clearly doing magic tricks. They have communions where they're speaking to the dead, random. One of the many double standards that JWs have, but I understand why they cling to it, because you're not allowed to like pretty much anything in this world anyway. I remember them trying to demonize Pokemon when I was a kid. So thank you to everyone who was there, coming up to me and saying hi. That means a lot to me. That's not why I started the channel, but I welcome it. If you see me in real life, like, come up and say hi to me. Give me a hug. I'll give you a hug back. And then I'll listen to your story if we have time, or we can set up coffee or a meetup or something. I'm down. He actually stepped in and helped and then recorded the whole interview for the process. There's like a cop car that just stopped by and is stopping me from vlogging.
I want to be in your vlog.
You be in my vlog. You are in the vlog right now.
Sweet. Are you famous on YouTube?
I am a YouTuber, yes.
Sick. I'm Steven.
Steven,
That's
how can I
cool.
help you? What's up?
I just wanted to be in your vlog.
You wanted to be in my vlog?
Yeah.
Say hello to the,
What's going on?
actually, I vlog about religion
Okay.
and ex-cult survivors, because I grew up in a cult.
Oh, really?
And had my life destroyed because of it.
No way.
So I vlog about that for people who are exiting the cult so they can move on and restart their lives.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
it's,
awesome.
it's super crazy.
I want to watch that.
It's a dope little channel. We just had an ex-JW, Jehovah's Witnesses or one of the cults, meetup in San Francisco. This whole movement of getting people to think critically is now a huge thing. So there's hope for like ex-Mormons, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Scientologists who are victims to restart their lives.
Dude, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
That's really
Did
awesome.
someone call? Like there's this dude standing out here with a camera?
No, I patrol the property.
Oh, okay.
And I saw you. I was like, dude, I want to be in this vlog. That's awesome. Can I get your like YouTube channel? and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, absolutely. Good meeting you, dude. See you, Steven. So hey, Steven, if you're watching, what's up? I just met you. This is crazy, and now you're on the channel. The more voices that are speaking together, the more attention that we can draw to this, and just society and how messed up it is, because it's not just cults that ruin people's lives, but we have the power to build movements and get people to move on, and just spread education and awareness, because that's the number one thing that can help people avoid these things and have their lives not taken from them. Thank you, Cedars, for doing what you do. Thank you, Evans, Lloyd Evans. Pedro for shooting the whole thing. He's actually a really cool buddy of mine. He's a really awesome dude. He not only helped me film this, but we're friends in real life, and he has taken, as a JW term, a worldly person. He's not a worldly person. He's just a normal, average, nice guy. Took the time to get to know me and my situation, and came out and helped me film this, which is massive, because I could not have done this in the same way by myself. So I had a second pair of hands. Fifth for organizing that. He's actually been a really good friend, and as someone else who's also recently woken up. So thank you for organizing the event and hanging out with me and putting things together. But if this video is helpful to you or anyone, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. It lets me know that I'm doing good work, and it helps me push me forward to keep putting out videos. And then if you know someone that can benefit from this, please share this content with them, or something from my channel or another person's channel, so that way they can wake up and take control of their lives too. Because that's really the root of the problem, is Watchtower, and we have to spread the word. Educate people to let them know that life is definitely greener on the other side, and as painful it is, and as much as you have to lose to get to that side, it's worth it. And subscribe. Please stay in contact. I love you guys. You guys are changing my life every day. I get the messages, I get the emails. I'm on social media. You can find me in the links below. Come say hi. Just know that it may take me a while to respond, because the massive amount of emails and messages I'm getting more and more every day are adding up. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.